You know you want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood Thursdays at 11 a.m. talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmani, the broskies of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time. Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m. where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Kasi Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young and free with Ama2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m. where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Bengeza kwaye phuhlisa ishishini lakho nathi apha eShare Online. Sebenzisa ezinkcukacha zilandelayo ukusifumana. 078 281 0681 okanye usithumelele email ku ads@shareonline.co.za.
Yo, what's good? Y'all listening to Share Radio, where we give you nice shows with a little bit of go in it, and where we promote upcoming artists, music, and more. If you want to share the experience with us or want us to promote your music, go to www.shareonline.co.za or WhatsApp us on 061 524 7758.
Stay informed with the latest news on Mzansi affairs every Tuesday at Share Radio, brought to you by Share Online. This is the time.
2 minutes past 12, and I would like to welcome you to the one and only show that deals with the current affairs, which is Mzansi Affairs. I welcome you. My name is Mogeti Maimane, and I am not alone. Of course, I am with my fellow co-host right here, in which I'm going to give him time to introduce himself. Mr. Itu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mo. I'm pleased to be here. Hello, very warm greeting to all our listeners all over South Africa. We welcome you on this another yet interesting episode of Mzansi Affairs. We hope you guys will be informed, because we know that's what you came for. Thank you very much.
Indeed. So please stay with us on our social media platforms. We are Share Online on each and every social media platform. Right now, we are streaming live on TikTok. You can join us there by simply going there and listening to the conversation, the discussion that we're going to have on the headlines that we're going to be discussing. Make sure to tap the screen and share the live to those that will find it most important. And we're also live on Facebook. Do make sure that you join the live and you follow us for more content like this, so that we can have discussions each and every week about what is happening in our country and globally, so that we can get clarity whenever we're having discussions with you right there at home. And leave down your comment and like the live. We're also live on YouTube, so you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can be notified every time whenever we go live, so that we can also have discussion and get broad of information that we want based on what we're going to have. So please do stay with us. And if you would like to call in right now and send a voice note based on the headline we'll be having, the number to do that is 061 524 7758. It's 061 524 7758. That's the number that you can leave your voice note at. And also, your text to tell us what you really think, because based on the headlines that we have, it's really sad that we keep on coming back to this headline of Spaza shops and children, dying. So we really like to hear, some of the views from the people at home. Whoever is watching right now, please do make sure that you comment down below and tell us what do you really think should be done, in order for this matters and situation that involves Spaza shops and children dying. What could be done, and what can the government do, and what the communities can do. It is what we're going to be discussing right here on Mzansi Affairs today, in which is Spaza shop food safety under scrutiny again. So, when we discuss this over and over the week, what comes to your mind?
Man, I thought maybe since we have had investigators that were conducting an investigation to what's causing this food poisoning, I thought maybe we would go over this. It would be water under the bridge.
Yeah.
But as the days go by, new cases keep on coming up, and now we're just going back over and over the same thing. So this has shown us that it is a very, very serious matter.
Yeah.
And it's not something we can just overlook and hope it's just going to subside, so easily. Because now one case is done, we think we are over that. We move on to, we try to move on with our lives, and then another one comes up again.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a problem, and I think we have to really stand up on our feet for this one and ensure that we do not have any more of these cases popping up.
Yeah, indeed, because when speaking of the cases, it's what we're going to be speaking about, because a 10-year-old child has died in Alexandra after consuming food bought at the local Spaza shop. Right after last week, when we covered the two, that consumed the the snacks that were bought from the local Spaza shop. So it is something that we need to deeply look at, because we had some people, speaking about, in terms of regulation, what should the government do, and what we can do as a community to make sure that the scourge is not taken, further, so that we can see more people die. And it's something that we spoke about, that, can we actually let these things, grow over and over, seeing young people, die over these things, over consuming, food from the local Spaza shop. And we're also going to speak about in Limpopo, after that situation where 13 pupils were, rushed off, to the hospital, Limpopo residents are like, what, we are ready to rate the food suppliers vendors, and it's some of the things that we want to see from the community.
Straight up.
Standing up against this scourge of food poisoning.
Sure. Sure. So with the community members taking charge in the raiding and ensuring that the food that is being sold to the pupils is within the normal standards of the safety, of what the health department would advise the food to be at. So I think also the government investigators, they have to speed up the process in which they will start regulating and investigating the shops. Because now, if ever they're gonna be slowing the process in this matter, people are gonna keep on consuming the food that is not well, and they're gonna keep on suffering from the poison and whatnot.
Yeah. So please do make sure that you stay with us, and we would really like to hear from you. What are your views, in this Spaza shop, situations whereby kids are consuming snacks, bought from those local Spaza shop, and finding themselves, in hospital. Some of them, they're losing their lives. We're also going to get into, what are the members of parliament saying, because there was a debate that was held, in the parliament, earlier in the days. And also going to be looking at our headline, which is the foreign national sought in connection with the rape and murder of a 6-year-old girl in Orlando. Following up with the story and the headline, have you ever found anything on, what are the progress about the case?
So, well, what I've realized on the case is that the police were able to at least identify the man behind this rape, and they were able to put up the picture of this suspect on their Facebook page.
Yeah.
And the suspect is still at large. People are still looking for. We are still looking for the suspect. So the police have urged the community members to also help in the search of this suspected rapist. And then if you ever happen to see him, you can quickly run to your nearest police station and report his whereabouts.
Yeah. Definitely, if you're watching and hearing this right now and you have some information to share, do make sure that you comment down below or call us on 061-524-7758. It's 061-524-7758 is the number that you can call us or send your message to the number. And you can also leave down your comment down. We are shared online on each and every social media platform. And looking at another headline that we'll be discussing today, it's the road rage over hitchhikers. Motorists and taxi association patrollers, they're fighting over passengers. This is a very interesting one. You know, when you look at the rights, that the passengers have on the road, are we saying that the taxi drivers, are wrong for doing that, or we have to look at it in a broader aspect that we also have rights to do whatever that you want on the road?
Yeah, when you speak about rights, it's a tricky situation in this matter, because now we're looking at people who are trying to operate a business and be able to feed their families on a day-to-day basis, right? And then you have also passengers that are struggling with keeping up with the taxi fares, and they're looking for an alternate that can better suit them. So it gets really bad when now people want to go, like, let's say taxi drivers go up on their own to ensure that the passengers do not use the alternate routes, and they have to go and board the taxis that are really, they result in high fares, whereby passengers cannot afford that. So it's something I'd like for us to unpack as the discussion goes on forward, and then we'll see what solutions we can come up with.
Indeed. Speaking of solution and discussion, do make sure that you comment down below on our comment sections. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and also TikTok. So we would really like to hear your point of view on what we're going to be discussing today based on the headlines that I have just read for you. And then on YouTube, I see a comment from Nolu Unlimited saying, I am so tired of hearing about young people dying from poison. I think this will lead to xenophobic attacks. And then we have Ratilani saying the thing of poison is really getting out of hand. Now we must be careful. Speaking about being careful, do you think it is really into the hands of the citizens to be as much as responsible, or the people who have to be responsible are the ones who are selling the product to the consumers?
Well, the citizens may take the necessary measures for them to ensure their safety, but at the end of the day, we'd also put the responsibility on the shop owners. But then it looks like this thing has been going on different shops. So now we have to put it up to the government to put a hold on this and to actually permit the closure of these foreign owned shops until we've found a way in which we can solve or find a resolve for this matter. Yes.
So going back to the first headline, which is, for the Spaza shop food safety under scrutiny, a 10-year-old child has died in Alexandra after consuming food bought at a local Spaza shop. The child's mother and a 4-year-old sibling are now fighting for their lives in hospital, both in critical condition. The incident comes as reports of suspected food poisoning continue to rise, raising questions about the safety of food sold at Spaza shops, and listening and looking at the interview that Heidi, was having
Yes.
with the father of, the
victims.
Yes, the victims. You can see that he was deeply saddened about what was happening.
Indeed, man.
Because it is so unfortunate for you to read something on the news or coming up to read about it maybe on the socials or seeing it on the socials, which is TikTok. That is where most of the trending news go to.
Sure.
And then finding out that thing will happen to your family. It's something that is so deep, and as much as we are calling in for the government, but now people are losing their loved ones. And as much as we said, after the 6 children of Naledi, we are going to see some action, and it's not going to happen again. Here it is. It is happening again. So when it's like that, what do you think should be the approach? Because we have been discussing this. Can we have a different approach, or we still use the one that we have nominated?
I like to emphasize on the example that you made, that sometimes you find yourself reading such a topic that you hear that there's people who have died at Naledi or somewhere else. And then maybe, most of us don't think that it could ever happen to us until you find yourself being a victim in this kind of circumstance. So we have given the government a leeway to at least lead and find a way in which we can deal with this matter. But so far, we're still having the same case. So I think it would be safe for us, the residents of South Africa, to say, you know what, let us at least close down the shops until something, we've come up with something that really can be done to help what you call alleviate the situation that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, so please, guys, do tell us in the comment section that what do you think should be done, because we have seen these many cases, occurring before us. We had the 6 children of Naledi. Even last year, we had 2 children in the same location, which is Naledi.
Yes.
We had now a situation in Limpopo where 13 pupils, were rushed into hospitals for consuming these, products bought at local Spaza shop. Now we have a 10-year-old who have died. So please comment down below and tell us, what do you really think should happen, when it comes to making sure that the rules and regulation are strict, so that we can prevent, these seeing the young kids, losing their lives just like that. We are really, really urging you to comment down below so that it can help, other community members and other citizens of South Africa when it comes to making sure that they are also careful around their local Spaza shop. We share online on each and every social media platform. And if you want to send a voice note, you do make sure that you send it on the number 061 524 7758. 061 524 7758 is the number that you can send your voice note. We really care about your opinion and hearing what do you have to say about what we are discussing right here. So when we look at another one, they are saying Joburg and Tshwane have far fewer health inspectors, than recommended. I mean, we go to an extent of pointing fingers to people, but when we look at, our city itself in terms of the people who are responsible for preventing such things from happening, we find out that we have few health inspectors, So who should we blame then?
It's something that is shocking to see how we approach this matter that is so critical. I mean, how can we short staff the people who would ensure that the residents consume food that will not be dangerous to their health? So the government must really pull their socks up on this one, because now we cannot be short-staffed with investigators who are out there to ensure that all the shops are operating within the standards of the country, So we must really ensure that we have enough people who can carry out the job as quick as possible. Because now we are touching on the point of that the investigation, the processes, it's slow, right? So now, if we want to speed this up, how can we do that if we are short-staffed?
Yeah.
Therefore, we need more people, more investigators on this matter to ensure that this thing is sorted as quickly as possible to avoid more deaths happening.
Yeah, indeed. So after we come back from the break, we are going to hear from, the father of the victims in Alexandra, to hear from his words, what is going through his mind after what has happened. So please do make sure to stay with us. You're still watching Mzansi Affairs with me, Mweketi Maimane, and Mr. Itumeleng Diale right here at Share Radio, brought to you by Share Online. Let us take a short break, and then whenever we come back, we are going to continue with the discussions of our headlines.
You know you want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news, and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood Thursdays at 11 a.m. talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmane, the broskies of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time. Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m. where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Kasi Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music, and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young, and free with Ama 2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m. where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Bengeza kwaye phuhlisa ishishini lakho nathi apha eShare Online. Sebenzisa ezinkcukacha zilandelayo ukusifumana 078 281 0681 okanye usithumelele email ku ads@shareonline.co.za.
Stay informed with the latest news on Mzansi Affairs every Tuesday at Share Radio, brought to you by Share Online. This is the time. 21 minutes past 12. It is the time right here, and you're still watching Mzansi Affairs. My name is Mweketi Maimane, and joining me right here in studio is my co-host, Mr. Itumeleng Diale. Still in discussion with our headlines for today. Spaza shops, food safety under scrutiny again, whereby we heard that there was a 10-year-old who died over consuming snacks bought from the local Spaza shops. So before the break, I promised you that we are going to be listening to what the father of the victim had to say and how is he feeling. So let me do this, and I hope you guys would get a clear hearing of what the father was going through.
Appreciate your time. Maybe just give us an update on how you're doing and how your wife and son are doing.
On my side, it's one day at a time. I don't know how I'm feeling right now. Yeah. But now my wife and the son, I'm pretty much happy with their conditions right now.
Are they doing better?
Yeah, they're doing better.
Okay, are they speaking to you? Did you manage to speak to them yesterday?
Yes, I did.
That's good news, at least.
She's aware what's happening. Yeah.
And how she's obviously struggling to deal with the fact that she's also lost her daughter?
Correct.
Okay. I want to speak to you about how you feel about the fact that the government is coming today to see you. How does that make you feel?
I don't feel better. And then it's not gonna make me happy at all because this thing has been happening. It's happening almost every week. And then government, that's the best what they can do. Just to go and visit the family and then say condolences, but they don't want to get the right word from the bottom of this thing. What's happening? I think what they must do, they need to put more effort to get where the stuff coming from till it get to the shelf where our children can buy them.
What would you call for maybe all Spaza shops to shut down? What would you want to see after this?
So before we continue, I just want to hear your thoughts, about Mr. Joshua, in which he is the husband and the father of the victims. Hearing him from a deeply saddened voice, when speaking to the reporter that we are tired of hearing the government saying condolences, and no action
is being taken.
Your thoughts from that, please.
Hey, Mr. Mo, Mr. Joshua is touching on something we have touched earlier on, that this thing has been happening for the past couple of weeks, and then all the government is doing is to do follow-up visits and share their sentiments with the victims, the family's victims. And now we are looking at a man who's lost his 10-year-old daughter now, and he has got his wife and another 4-year-old sibling. Who are fighting for their life currently in hospital. So now he's being asked on how he feels about the upcoming government visit to his place, to his residence, to check on how he's doing and to share their sentiments with him. So he's asking on how many times, to what avail is this gonna keep on happening? Because now we need a plan of action. Something that's gonna stop this killing of children to an end. Because now if we're gonna keep on dragging our feet on this and relying on the government to help us solve this, then we must be prepared to bury more of our loved ones. And now we really, really must take a stand as South Africans and ensure that we close these shops, man.
Yeah, indeed. The voice of the people needs to be heard, in terms of the situation that is going on right now in our country. So on YouTube, I have Refila saying, I think we have a hearing problem because how many times are we warned about Spaza shops, but we still buy there? So I think with this one, it speaks to what we were discussing, last week.
Yes.
When we spoke about the people who came forward and spoke about why, they really buy there.
Yes.
Because the service that they are being given by these foreign nationals, it's not a service that you would get on ShopRite.
No.
On Pick and Pay.
No.
They're getting a different service that you would never even expect from the locals. So it's not about the issue of hearing, but the issue of things being available, the availability of services being given to the people.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I think also we become victims to such circumstances because I feel like as a people living in our country, we are more like cornered, man. We are stuck in between a rock and a hard place. So the only place where we can run is to these foreign owned shops, whereby we can get what we call this credit. We buy things at credit, or we feel like we are saving money when we're buying there, because now we don't want to spend money on fares and buying on these big shopping centers whereby you can find your ShopRite or your Pick and Pay. So even though we can say we benefit from these, but it's hurting us. I think it's about time we forget about the benefits or the favors that my friends are doing for us and just heed to the call that the nation is. We've been crying, we've been saying out loud that we must close it. Even though we try to be diplomatic on this one and try to reason and find a way that can benefit both parties. By both parties, I mean the community members as well as the foreign shop owners. But now still we hearing reports about a death of a child from consuming not food that's not well, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's about time we actually do something about this.
Yeah.
If they call us xenophobic, then so be it. Because what do they call it when our children are being targeted by these? Because I'd want to say that they're being targeted by these shop owners, even though it's not a fact. But from how things are happening, it's becoming a trend. There's a pattern here.
Yeah.
And if you're telling me that you cannot pick this up, then you must really, really, really living in a cave, man, because this thing has been happening for the past couple of weeks. I'm sure a lot of us have picked up on this trend.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's about time that we do something about it.
Yeah. So please, guys, do make sure that you keep your comments coming. What do you really think about the Spaza shopper safety, right now, as we are seeing a lot of people consuming products from the local Spaza shop, losing their lives. And we keep on seeing parents, burying their young ones, each and every month right now. What do you think should happen? And as you are watching right now and you have an idea on what should happen, do make sure that you comment down below and can send us your voice note on 061-524-7758 061-524-7758. And speaking of the comment, I have a comment from Your Ex Might Save You saying we have a problem. The government seems not to be doing anything about this case. It was found that some of the chips were tested and found clean. Sitting ngaleyo.
So this thing of the government suspecting that the cause of this poisoning is from a chemical claimed to be organophosphate. I feel like that's something totally not in the picture of what we're dealing with right now. Because this to me seems like intentional poisoning. These foods. When I feel like when the investigators come to inspect your shop, they take out the product that they sell to the people, and then the ones that are laced with poison, I'm sure they're stashed somewhere. So when the investigators check for any foul play on the food, they realize that no, everything in the shop is clean, and then they leave. But then you come tomorrow, someone just died from eating food from that shop, but it was deemed that that shop is clean from any poisonous food. So, man, let's close the shops. I think now I'm also agreeing with the people that we must close the shops. Yes. So, yeah.
So the article right here is read as follows. Hardly a day goes by now without the news of a group of children falling ill after eating snacks bought from a Spaza shop. In some places, communities close down for own Spaza shops, but the main problem seems to be at our metros. Do not have enough environmental health inspectors to check their compliance with food safety regulation and legislation. According to the World Health Organization, which is the WHO, there must be one health inspector for every 10,000 people in South Africa. This is not the case, in our communities, because Mr. Aaron Motswaledi spoke about each and every time that local community members, even traditional leaders, they need to make sure they see who is around, in their community, who is selling, because that's the most important thing, to know who is actually providing services to the people of the community. He spoke about that, and he also mentioned that if we have a database that will show that, okay, we have Abdul selling there. If anything happens from Abdul
shop,
we have him on our database.
Straight up.
And we're going to act according to law. What are the regulations saying if we found out there was a case of poisoning? Somebody, from the community consumed some of your products. This is what should happen. But now the problem is there's no such.
There isn't. There's no accountability. If I buy from Abdul and I fall sick from whatever food he sold to me, Abdul is not gonna be held responsible for this thing. He's gonna be like, no, it's from the wholesale where we buy. But then how many shops or how many people stock from the wholesale and they do not sell products that poison people? But you, Abdul, you claim that your food from the wholesale is laced with poison. So we really have to make an example from these people. But at the moment, I don't think making an example out of these people would be beneficial for us, because really we need to actually close down the shops. I think that's the only way the government can hear and understand what we actually are about. Because now if we keep on waiting for them to actually make a difference, we still gonna discuss the same case every week going forward.
So when I continue here, they are saying in Gauteng, two biggest metros, which is the city of Johannesburg and Tshwane, the number of health inspectors is not even close to the requirements of the World Health Organization.
So do they specify on how many inspectors per 10,000 people?
So
you can go
one health inspector for every 10,000 people.
Yes.
So it means in every 10,000 people in the city, there's not even one health inspector. You know,
shocking.
That's so shocking because right now we are seeing that we have a shortage of health inspectors. I think we should stop being about DJ, you know, and look into the career and the path of being health inspectors, because it's something that is required right now.
And we have a shortage.
We have a shortage of health inspectors, and if we do not act as quickly as we can right now by hiring more health inspectors, we're going to see more of these situations happening without repercussions.
Yes.
And it's so sad that no one is behind bars.
No one is behind bars. No one is being held accountable for all these deaths of children. So that's why it's easier for them to keep on committing these crimes, because this is a crime. You know, killing someone is a crime. Even though we do not have someone who we suspect to be behind this, or someone who is actually behind bars for such a crime, but it's still a crime. And then if the government is not doing anything about it, then the people must. Because we're not gonna follow any processes. If you sell poisonous foods, then you are responsible for the death of the people, and we're gonna get to you.
Exactly. Going back to the question, you know, where you asked me that, you know, what is the number of inspectors, the available number of inspectors? So they're saying the city of Johannesburg has only 221, which makes it a ratio of one inspector for 27,000 people.
That's one inspector twice the amount they should.
Yes, that is required. And Tshwane, it's even worse, with only 77 health inspectors consisting of 64 functional inspectors and 13 managers, giving the city a ratio of one inspector for every 60,000 people.
Yo, that's like what, 6 times?
6 times
the recommended number,
the original number. So I think we are seeing now where is the problem, you know, because we are going to be saying, what is the government doing? What is but now it also goes back to the government that they are not hiring more inspectors than they have to.
We need more inspectors.
You know, we need more inspectors. So it is so tragic to hear some of the things, you know, hearing that, you know, we have a less number of inspectors in our communities and in our cities. And it makes sense why we keep on having these, you know, situation, you know, going without repercussions.
Yes, true.
Because there are not enough inspectors to actually dwell on these cases and make sure that people, you know, are punished with what they are doing, you know.
Yeah. So according to the report that you are reading there, so they say that one inspector per 10,000 people, right? So if the city of Tshwane has one inspector for 60,000 people, and the inspector has to service 10,000 people, that means if the inspector does like do their job, if they do like actually do their job, they service the 10,000 people. That means 50,000 people will be left without any inspection or any, you know. So that's a, you know, if it was like 5,000, maybe would understand. But now it's 50,000 people. That's alarming, and something has to be done about it.
Indeed. Speaking of doing something about it, when we come back from the break, we'll be looking at food safety regulated by two main pieces of legislation in the situation that has been ongoing in our country, which is, the children dying from consuming snacks bought from the local Spaza shops all around South Africa. So please do make sure that you leave your comment down below and tell us what you really think of the discussion that we are having on the headlines that we are discussing right here in Mzansi Affairs. My name is Moketi Maimane, and I am right here with Mr. Itumeleng Diale. So please do make sure that you stay with us until the end of the show as we are bringing you the main headlines for the day.
You know you want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news, and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood, Thursdays at 11 a.m., talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmani, the broskies of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time, Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m., where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Kasi Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music, and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young, and free with Ama 2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m., where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Bengeza kwaye phuhlisa ishishini lakho nathi apha eShare Online. Sebenzisa ezinkcukacha zilandelayo ukusifumana 078 281 0681 okanye usithumelele email ku ads@shareonline.co.za.
Stay informed with the latest news on Mzansi Affairs every Tuesday at Share Radio, brought to you by Share Online. This is the time. 19 minutes till we hit 1 o'clock, and you're still watching Mzansi Affairs right here on Share Radio, brought to you by Share Online. My name is Moketi Maimane, and I am joined by Mr. Itumeleng Diale right here in studio. We are still in discussion with our main headlines for today, which is mainly the Spaza shops, seeing the scourge of young people dying and some of the people fighting for their lives in hospital. We would really like to hear from you, whoever is watching, and listening from wherever you are. Please do make sure to follow us on our social media platforms. We are Share Online on each and every social media platform. And if you want to call us in right now, the number to call is 061 524 7758. 061 524 7758. And going to my YouTube, I see a comment from Selo Monama saying, it is not true that we don't have people trained as health inspectors. The government is not employing them. There are many young people with bachelors of environmental health. How true is this?
I can also account to that and say that, yes, it is true, because a lot of, sometimes we find ourselves saying, why would you study to be an environmentalist, where else those careers, there's no jobs in that sector. But now the reality hits us that we actually need such professionals in the country, because now there's a huge gap between what we have and what we need to have, right? So that is actually true, and it's something that we have to look at, and ensure that everything is done accordingly. We cannot be lacking so much.
Indeed,
it's embarrassing.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Silo, with that comment. Please keep more comments coming, because it's something that we are discussing, as we are asking that as much as, they're speaking of 10,000, people and one inspector has to be found. But now we are not seeing as much inspectors. And the question is why? And your comment has clarified most of the things that we're trying to find out right here. So before the break, I said to you guys, we're going to be looking at the food safety regulated by two main pieces of legislation right here in South Africa. So food safety in South Africa is regulated by the Foodstuffs, Cosmetics and Disinfects Act and the National Health Act. So they say Spaza shops must have a certificate of acceptability. Spaza shops must have a certificate of acceptability, which is a food, business, and a permit license. According to ASC consultants, it is compliance certificate issued to food handling premises according to the requirement set out in Regulation R638. 2018 of the regulation governing the general hygiene requirements for food premises, the transport of food and related matters. It is mandatory for any food business whose operation fall under the Foodstuffs, Cosmetics and Disinfect Act 54 of 1972. Another thing, not enough budget for more health inspectors. It's something that we're speaking about, that, okay, why are there less number of health inspectors? But now we are seeing here, they're saying there's no enough budget for more health inspectors. The Johannesburg budget for health inspectors for the current financial year is 187,580,397,021. But Mudingwane says this is not enough as rapid urbanization and migration created disparities. Tswane's budget is only 98 million, which Mashego says it's not sufficient, which is why the department continues to lobby for more funds during the budget, planning process.
Sure.
The health inspectors of both cities inspect Spaza shops in their regions. All Spaza shops in Johannesburg were inspected during the 2023 and 2024 financial year. Mudingwane says, while those needing more attention are visited more often. Mashera says that the Spaza shop in Tshwane are inspected one in a year on a reactive basis, but he believes that it should be done at least twice a year. Mudingwane believes it should be once a month. But now, as we are speaking, that we are seeing more cases rising. If you're going to say once a month or twice a year, that means you're giving people a loophole, to do whatever that they want to do. And you're going to see more results of people going to hospitals and falling ill because of the product that they have been taken.
True.
But now, the underlying theories is that, in everything that is happening, excluding unemployment, excluding government, speculations say that black people are involved in these things. I don't know. What is your take in that?
That could be true, Mr. Mo. Because now, maybe let's say they're not involved, like they have interest in the death of the young children in our communities. But they sort of like are benefiting financially from these acts. So if like you're gonna have these foreign nationals operating in our communities, as they said earlier on the report, that you have to have a certain document that permits you to be able to run such a business, right? But then now, if you're gonna have these chains of foreign owned shops, are they all permitted to run such a business? And my answer to that would be no. Therefore, how can the inspectors let these people to operate even if they're not permitted.
Yeah.
That's where the benefit comes in. These people are bribing our officials to be able to operate in our communities. So in a way, they are involved, and they should also be held accountable for turning a blind eye when these people are killing our people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because speaking about the money that is being given to officials, it is said that this is a 13 billion rand industry, so a lot of money is circulating in the industry. True. A lot of people, they also want to benefit, if people really cared about the health of the people, we would have seen a lot of foreign national shops being closed down.
Yes.
But
yes.
We're not seeing that.
No.
They're still operating, they're still making money. And when an incident occurs, that's where maybe money is being coughed out.
Yeah.
So it is something that, when you get to look at things deeply, because it also speaks to the comment from, Sillo, speaking about, there are people who are trained with qualification, but they're not getting jobs.
Yes.
And we know that the more health inspectors we have, the more Spaza shops are being closed down.
Sure.
So we feel like the government is also hiding something from us in terms of making sure that, okay, if we're going to hire more people, that means we are going to lose more money.
I mean, it does have something to hide. In fact, it's not like they're hiding something, but they stand to lose if ever we close these shops. Have you seen how when we were outraged about the death of the children in the communities, and the community members wanted to go close down the shops, and then our leaders came out and say, no, you cannot do that. We're gonna do an investigation. Let us handle this. You guys don't have to do anything about that, because they know if we take the matters into our own hands, then obviously it's a definite closure for these shops. So I think we should. If we don't care if they lose their money, it's not our money anyway. It does not benefit us. They cannot come here and tell us what to do and what not to do, where else it's our lives at stake. Okay.
So the food safety incident, not only in Alexandra, but Limpopo, they also, speaking of raiding food suppliers and, vendors.
Yes.
So a member of the Department of Health conducts an inspection on a Spaza shop in Naledi, in which is a picture. But Limpopo Premier Phophi Ramathuba is pushing for a province to prevent further incidents of food poisoning in schools. The Limpopo Executive Council met to address the surge of food poisoning incident reported across schools in the province. They resolved to prioritize unannounced inspections of raids of foods warehouses and vendors to ensure a compliance with health regulation. The EXCO has also recommended that a joint operating committee be formed to devise a strategy in response to this matter. It's calling for a ban on unsafe snacks from brands identified to contain foreign objects or lacking expiry dates,
And also we must devise that ban on unpermitted operation of foreign-owned shops. We need to see permits. We need to see licenses for this. If not, we close you down.
Indeed. So also, when we're looking at, health inspectors, being deployed in these, local Spaza shops, of course, there are challenges that they face. But now we want to find out what are those challenges that the health inspectors face whenever they're going to a certain Spaza shop in the community. So they say health inspectors face various challenges when they do inspection at Spaza shops. They often face a language barrier, and Mashika says health inspectors in Tshwane often find when they inspect Spaza shops that they're operated without a valid certificate of acceptability. They have problems with vector control such as rodents and flies. They do not comply with labeling regulation for food, and sometimes imported foods are repacked with non-compliant labels. They are run from buildings with structural non-compliance. They do not have adequate hygiene and housekeeping. They are dusty and they lack general cleanliness. They stock unsound and expired food and food where the labels have been tampered with. they keep the food close to non-food due to limited storage space, such as keeping food near paraffin. They store food on the ground due to a lack of adequate shelving, and they have no windows that can open with insufficient ventilation and no artificial lighting. They have poor lighting, and they do not always comply with zoning and land use rights.
Sure.
So
that is true.
Yeah. Those are some of the challenges, if you're thinking, that the inspectors, what do they do, when they go to a certain Spaza shop, when they are going to find out about the case that has been rolling out for some few, cases. So these are the things that I just read out to you that they're facing, in which are the most common challenges to every health inspector, found in, different cities. They're saying some Spaza shop owners also sleep and wash inside the Spaza shop
where there's food. Sometimes
is that true?
I've heard allegations claiming that they even sleep on top of the maize meal. They take your 12.5 kg, line them up, and just sleep on them. And
really?
And it's hard these days, Mr. Mo. These people, we sweat as a people. You're gonna have your smelly armpits, and I have to come and buy bread there, and the bread has been sitting there the whole day while there's no ventilation in the room. So it's like the sweat, it just rubs off on the and now I'm supposed to eat that. Yeah? So these things we are exposed to, they're not humane, man. I cannot be taking my hard-earned money to buy something someone was sleeping on.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad, man, because whenever I heard things like that these guys, they use maize meal to make beds and to sleep, or I literally couldn't make sense of that, but when health inspectors go there, it's some things that they see. And they go on further by saying, while some owners also keep animals and pets in the Spaza shop, which is not allowed. Some even sleep right near and top of the food stuff.
Straight.
I mean, it's something, that is way overboard, because now, as much as these people, they do not find, the compliance certificate with them, why not close the shop?
Right. It's a finding, close it.
Yes. We can't be eating, the maize that they have been sleeping on, for the past 3 weeks or 5 weeks.
My God.
So the question is, should health inspection be reactive or proactive? So Mashikha and Madingwane agree that instead of being reactive, the health inspections at Spaza shop should be proactive and preventative. This is to prevent incidents before they occur, such as the alleged food poisoning cases. With the city of Johannesburg financial year running from July to June, health inspectors did 11,404 inspections at Spaza shops in the previous financial year and found that 31% did not have a certificate of acceptability. In Tshwane, 234 did not have a certificate of acceptability. There's a problem here.
But I'm sure they're still operating.
They're still operating, So it is the big question that should be asked. If you do not find the certificate of acceptability, why do you let the store continue, to sell products to the people?
Maybe they're getting bribes.
Eish.
Yeah. There's no certificate, but here we have cold drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So indeed, we would really like to hear from you. Comment down below on our YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, and tell us, what do you really think, about the discussion that we are having? It's so shocking that, when the health inspectors find, such things that we are hearing, it's really sad to hear that some of the things that people are consuming, they're being slapped on top of. We see animals roaming on top of the food that people have to consume. So please do make sure to comment down below. We are shared online on each and every social media platform. Right now, we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to continue further with the discussion and cover some of the headlines that we have for you. So in the meantime, please stay with us as we take a short break, and then we will come back.
know you want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news, and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood Thursdays at 11 a.m. talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmani, the broskis of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time. Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m. where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Kasi Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music, and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young, and free with Ama2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m. where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Bengeza kwaye phuhlisa ishishini lakho nathi apha eShare Online. Sebenzisa ezinkcukacha zilandelayo ukusifumana 078 281 0681 okanye usithumelele email ku-ads@shareonline.co.za.
Stay informed with the latest news on Mzansi affairs every Tuesday at Share Radio, brought to you by Share Online. This is the time. Health inspectors' biggest concerns at Spaza shops. Modikwane says Johannesburg health inspectors' biggest concerns about food safety at Spaza shops are food handling, pest control, and personal hygiene. According to Mashe Khatwane's health inspectors are concerned about Spaza shops operating without a valid certificate of acceptability, their own safety, as some have been attacked in the presence of the police while one was bitten by a dog. Spaza shops are failing to maintain temperatures according to the manufacturer's stipulation, pest control, contamination, and poor housekeeping. Then we still continue to buy from these people. What do you think is the underlying issue with the people when they see that, you know what, every time when I go to the shop, like we smell armpits, man. We smell, humans.
Yeah,
unbathed
humans.
But we still continue to buy. Like, what is the underlying factors of people? Is it because now inflation is high and people can't afford, food from these big retail stores?
Yeah, you can say that the inflation is high, people cannot afford. And also, sometimes when you get exposed to something for so long, you end up adapting to it. Yeah. So maybe at first it was a shock that, but over time, you find yourself getting used to that, So it's no longer a thing of concern now, but when you come to the shop, there's gonna be some funny smell.
Yeah.
But you've been smelling this for like over 5 years now, so it's no longer something that raises your eyebrows or maybe that concerns you in a way,
Yeah.
So I think we as a people we have gotten used to being exposed to such things, and it's really sad that it's become normal.
Yeah,
because we were supposed to rise up and stand against this. Because if I was to go Mam Jobe, and I see Mam Jobe Huanka, I would be like atlap and not buy there.
Yeah,
but because now it's these foreigners, it's like we've it's double standards, man. How can we be okay? Because if you go to ShopRite or KFC or whatever, and you find that there's rodents wherever you are, you'd make some nasty comments.
Yeah,
because you know that there's a standard that we expect for ShopRite to service their customers at, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we have the same standards for these foreign-owned shops?
And it's something that, as much as you are reading, guys, for the people who are watching right now and listening, please comment down below and some of the worst experience that you have ever had, when you go to a local Spaza shop and the first thing that you see, it's something that is shockingly. So please write down your comments and tell us some of those things that you guys have seen and experienced when going to purchase a product at the local Spaza shop. I also have a comment from Jabu Muhara saying, all we care about is that the things are cheaper. We don't even worry about the conditions. A question that I just asked, in which it is actually complacent with the statement of Jabu of saying, ish, whether it's stinking
or not,
whether they're sweaty, they don't bath, can I just buy and leave? But now, that is what we call the psychology of a consumer. Because something can stay there in a stuffy place, you only come once and take it, but you do not, look at the underlying health conditions, of what that thing can cause to you, because it has sat there for the longest time, So it is really something that, people should be looking at. But now people are, looking to buy things cheaper.
Yes.
So continuing, he says some people also extort bribes from Spaza shop owners to protect their shops. Once health inspectors arrive for inspections, the Spaza shop owners call them to come and assist, creating an unsafe environment for the inspectors.
True.
Spaza shops also open and close at will and frequently, and therefore it is difficult to have proper records and control of these Spaza shop.
True, because now if there's a rumor going around that the investigations have begun and these people are coming to check the shops, these shop owners can just close the shops and pretend that the shop is not operating. And the community members themselves will not come out to say that no, these people were opened yesterday. They just closed today that because they heard that you guys are coming. It's like we are working together with them. We are protecting them. It's like we are in an abusive relationship whereby we are protecting our abusers. You are killing us, it's fine. Stay here. So it's gotten really bad.
It's really a problem because as much as each and every time when you read about the case, they're saying the shop has not been found with the valid certificate of acceptability. But now the shop is still operating.
Straight.
So what is it that should be done? Is it true that, some people extort bribes from Spaza shops? As inspectors, they see that, okay, this shop is not really compliant and they can't sell food to people in the conditions that they are in. So let us, want something from them so that they cannot keep on doing the same thing. But now the local Spaza shops, they're like, okay, as much as we are paying, we can continue doing what we're doing because it seems like it is right.
Straight up.
So please comment down below and tell us, the experiences that you have ever had with the local Spaza shops. On YouTube, I have Jabu Mohari saying, I always comment that in the long run, many people are going to be sick and not understand where, it comes from.
So that could be true. I mean, we buy from these shops knowing very well that even smelling, you smell that it's not hygiene here. But you're still going to buy something for you to eat. And then just because it does not affect you immediately, you feel like it's not okay. It's okay. You can keep on buying from the shop until maybe 5-15 years down the line, you find yourself having an illness that you don't know where it comes from and how it got there. And now you start saying about lawyer but you know very well. It's just that sometimes as a people we become so ignorant, man. And I feel like we should stop that and just, open our eyes, wake up, man. Act. I mean, it's your money, so you make you call the shots. You make the decision if whether you buy there or don't buy there. Because the thing is, if we stop buying from even if we don't go close them down by force, but the moment we stop buying from them and they see that there's no business anymore, they will be forced to leave. They cannot stay and operate a business whereby there's no profit there.
Yeah.
So there's many ways to kill a cat, man. We just have to find a way that we feel like it's gonna be best suitable for us, and then just take that.
Yeah, indeed, it is a scourge and a pandemic that we are facing in our country, whereby we are having, people dying and some of them fighting for their lives, at hospitals by consuming the products from the local Spaza shop. So we would like to hear from you as the discussion does not only stop here. We still, continue to discuss it over further. You can leave down your comment down below and tell us what you really think, about this headline about, a lot of people finding themselves in grief, parents losing their children and mothers also, grieving over their children. So, on another headline that we have, a foreign national sought in connection with the rape and murder of a 6-year-old in Orlando. The suspect remains at large, and the SAPS has posted his image on the Facebook page asking residents for help in locating him. And I have an image right here, but unfortunately I can't show it. So I'm gonna ask, our technical team to, show you the image. If you can just go there on the link, and then we'll click on the link, and then the guy's image will appear. So it is something that we are asking for residents out there, if you see this guy, do make sure that you report his whereabouts, so that the police can do their job. So do you have anything on your site regarding this case?
Yeah, with such cases whereby you have an undocumented person committing such crimes, it's it's something we've picked up, that once you do this crime, you get away with it because now he's Mozambican, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm sure by now, Sega Sekaya. Yeah, he's out the country, he fled the country. So we must also tighten our borders and ensure that whoever comes into the country is documented and can be found.
Yeah.
Because now if you can just up and down like that without any problems, then this is gonna be something that keeps on happening.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a 6-year-old child, man. So, a girl child who had a bright future ahead of her.
Yeah.
And now this predator has just, it's bad.
It is sad. So we are going to make sure that this picture it is spread around, so that people can see, and if they identify him, they can bring him forward to the police. So the residents of Orlando East Ward 31 were traumatized after a 24-year-old Mozambican man allegedly raped and strangled a 6-year-old Amantle Samane to death on October 21st. Based on the information, Samane was playing with her friends in the street when the suspect allegedly lured her to the shack he is renting in the area. Thabo Kekana, the owner of the yard where the incident occurred, stated that the suspect has been their tenant for 4 months and that they're deeply traumatized by the event. I wasn't home when the incident occurred, but 3 young men told me they saw him enter his shack with a young girl and was suspicious about why he brought an unfamiliar young girl into the shack. He added that after searching the entire yard, they discovered the suspect had fled. Ward 31 Councillor Bongani Dlamini confirmed that the suspect is a Mozambican national. The incident has left residents in shock, and they wanted the suspect apprehended before the community takes matters into their own hands. The morning after the incident, he called his Mozambican girlfriend, who is the mother of his newborn baby. She had recently traveled from Mozambique to South Africa to introduce the newborn to him, as he had left Mozambique expecting a child. The communication between him and his girlfriend was made using his friend's cell phone, since he doesn't have one. We tried to trace the number that he used, but it is now off, said the councillor Dlamini. He added that, according to the suspect's girlfriend, this was not on the first time he attempted to such horrific act. He once tried to rape a young girl in their country, but his girlfriend walked in on him before he could proceed. The families of Samane and Kekana are deeply traumatized by the incident. Additionally, late last year, another Mozambican national who was ill passed away in the same yard where the suspect was renting. It appears that the foreigners are entering the country without proper documentation, and our residents are providing them with places to stay despite their undocumented status, which poses its own challenges. We are truly hoping that the residents will help that Samane family find closure as they prepare to bury their child. We are waiting for confirmation on the burial location, which could be in Orlando or at their home in Northwest. Our hope rests with the Orlando police to apprehend the suspect. You know, it is very sad to hear some of these things, you know, and as this also speaks to the food purchased at the Pakistani, and you hear people's reasons saying, Ish, we can't afford, you know, to buy at these huge retail stores.
Sure.
Even these ones, you would get people who are undocumented. They want to rent places, you know, but people don't further go into finding out if the person really has a document to stay in the country.
As long as they have money.
As long as they have money, you know, and it is sad to, you know, hear some of these things going on. And we also urge our community members, if you're watching, please do make sure that if you see any, you know, if you hear about somebody who is undocumented, just know that, you know, they are also running away from something. And if they cause something, just because they're undocumented, it's easy for them to flee away. So do make sure that you report the matters, you know, to your nearest police station, and so that these culprits can be found and be dealt with the law. So it is sad to hear this, and may, you know, her soul rest in peace, you know, and may the family find solace in what has happened. And we actually are with the family, you know, in terms of helping finding this suspect and, you know, bringing him forward so that he can go to jail before it is late, you know, because when we are hearing from the girlfriend is saying that he once caught, you know, him trying to do, you know, someone, you know, but now it is something that as much as people are protecting their partners, but when you see what kind of a person you're staying with, you should report him or her immediately when that thing happens. So please, guys, do not let these things, you know, slip away from your own eyes. I have a comment from Jabu saying they must quickly arrest this guy before he causes more damage. Community must quickly play a big part for this guy to be arrested. We also urge you, whoever is watching right now, you know, to make sure that we spread the picture as, you know, fast as we can so that he can be, you know, caught before he flies out of the country. So right now we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to be discussing another headline that we have right here. So please do make sure to stay with us. We are shared online on each and every social media platform. We are live on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Leave down your comment as we are discussing these headlines for today. If you want to call us, the number to call is 061-524-7758. 061-524-7758. Let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we are going to discuss more further with our headlines.
You know you want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news, and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood Thursdays at 11 a.m. talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmane, the broskies of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time. Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m. where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Kasi Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music, and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young, and free with Ama2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m. where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Bengeza kwaye phuhlisa ishishini lakho nathi apha eShare Online. Sebenzisa ezinkcukacha zilandelayo ukusifumana. 078 281 0681 okanye usithumelele email ku ads@shareonline.co.za.
Stay informed with the latest news on Mzansi affairs every Tuesday at Share Radio, brought to you by Share Online. This is the time. 18 minutes past 1. It is the time right here, and thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching Mzansi Affairs with me, Moeketsi Maimane, and Mr. Itumeleng Diale right here in the studio. We would like to remind you that we are Share Online on each and every social media platform. So do make sure that you follow us on YouTube. It's Share Online. Press the subscription button and notification button to get more of this. We are going live each and every Tuesdays at 11 a.m. So please do make sure that you stay in tune with us as we come with more headlines to give you. Today, our headlines was Spaza shop food safety under scrutiny. Again, as a Spaza shop, they continue to be in danger when selling their products, and a lot of people are finding themselves in hospitals and young kids pass away. And also in Limpopo, they have continued and started to raid the food suppliers and vendors. We were discussing the foreign national sought in connection with the rape and murder of a 6-year-old in Orlando, and we urge you, if you saw the picture of the man, do make sure that you share it in your socials so that the culprit can be apprehended and brought into police station and be arrested for the crimes that he has done. On the last one, road rage over hitchhikers, motorist and taxi association patrollers fight over passengers. Over the past of weeks, videos have been circulating amid an alleged road rage between said motor vehicle and the taxi association patrolling vehicle. The dispute that was sparked by motorists supported to be picking up hitchhikers has caused outrage across the country, whereby motorists cry foul, claiming to be harassed by taxi associations, but the members of the association say different. So I don't know what you think, because I have seen the videos on social media. The first time I saw, I literally saw people, maybe they were fighting over something. Maybe you got, in me first, but now when I follow up the story, taxi drivers are complaining that people with private cars, they're taking passengers from them in the roads.
Sure. So, this is a case of you are traveling from maybe Northwest and you want to come to Gauteng, right? And then now you find yourself not being able to afford the normal taxi fares.
Yeah.
So you would opt to go into the highway and hitchhike. So you're going to find people who are willing to pick up those hitchhikers and drop them off at whatever the agreed spot is, and then for a certain price, of course. So now that's what the fight is about here, that you are not permitted to be picking up and transporting passengers, but now you're doing it for the sake of benefiting financially, right? And now the thing is, there are people who are employed to do this, people who are doing this as their daily bread, for them to be able to feed their families. So now if you're going to be picking up passengers whereby you're not permitted to, you are taking business from the people whose job it is to do that.
Yeah.
So now that's why the fight, that's why now people start to fight. That's why you have these road rage going on, because now they're trying to protect their businesses. And now people are saying, no, but we have rights. We can do anything we want in this country. It's So it's pretty tricky with this, because now there's a lot of people who are defending this hitchhiking and whatnot, and there's obviously organizations who are defending the taxi drivers for doing this. But I feel like, if this is the case, we must not be violent about it. If maybe you see someone is doing something that's not lawful, you can just take a picture of the registration and report it to the authorities. And then let's let the authorities take it from there.
This has called for the immediate intervention of the South African Police Services. National Commissioner General Feni Masemola stated that taxi patrollers have no authority to stop motorists from giving people lifts. Mr. Sibanyoni argued car owners were not permitted to give hitchhikers a lift, not even family members, citing safety concerns for passengers and private car owners who did not have permits to transport passengers. The debate continues as MECs from different parts of the country step in attempt to resolve the matter at hand. It is a common knowledge that taxi association patrol vehicles are deployed to ensure that the taxi operators do their job within the scope set out by the Santaco. Anything regarding motorists unpermitted operations on the national roads of South Africa that falls under the jurisdiction of the National Traffic Offices. If taxi association patrollers suspect that a motor vehicle is picking up passengers in a case, it is not permitted to do so. They can then report the matter to the nearest traffic officers or call it in via a call. It's the new reality that we are living with right now. That you can't just be picked up anywhere. No matter what the situation you're going through, you are running away from a criminal. You want to be in a safe place. If they see you hitchhiking and somebody decides to stop for you, they're going to come for you.
Straight up. Straight up.
So it is something that we should be asking ourselves and the viewers at home, in what do you really think of the situation? If you have come across a situation whereby you saw, somebody hitchhiking and then the taxi drivers came and say, you know what? No, you're not supposed to do that. May this person take the right, way of doing things, which is catching a taxi.
Yes.
But now, when I read the article, right, there was this article I was reading based on this story. So this lady commented and said, I was sitting in a taxi for the longest time, and I was the only one. And the taxi was not even near on getting full, So she had to sneak out, and because she was getting late, she was going to work, While she was trying to sneak out, she requested, for a Bolt. And then the car came. While she was trying to get in, they saw her.
It came into the taxi rank.
Yes. They saw her, but she was out of the taxi rank. Do you know where the taxis bind Vele in the main road? You find it's a main road.
Sure.
They bind there and they tell her, there's a taxi to wherever you want to go. The lady stayed there and then nothing was happening for quite some time, And then she went out, she was getting late. While she tried to request for a ride, while the ride was going, they followed her and they stopped the car and they took her off and they said, you're not allowed to do that. That's where we are right now when it comes to this. So I really want to know, what do people think about it? If you have been in a situation whereby you were taken out of a ride while you were trying to get somewhere, as early as you can. But now, the guys from Santaco, they came. They're like, no, you're not supposed, to be
doing that.
Yes, doing this, requesting rides right here on the road.
While we are here.
So they also speak about the safety of the people, that you can't just hitchhike anywhere, which is a valid point.
It is.
We have high cases of human trafficking in our country and a lot of kids getting kidnapped.
Sure.
So for them, they come with the reason of saying you are not permitted on taking people on the road.
Sure.
Because we have the Transport Association that is responsible for doing that.
True.
So it is something that as much as we are going to get deep into it and look at it in different angles, what are people saying about it? What do they think about the implementation? If I am somewhere in the middle of the road, lost, and I want a car to pick me, you know, people, the first question that will come right now to people is, am I doing a right thing or I'm not?
Yeah, it's really tricky. It's really tricky. But then, you know, my concern is the approach of how the taxi drivers deal with such cases.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can see that your client is late and you guys will not leave until the taxi is full, I mean, the client has every right to step out and request the Bolt for herself. And it's even better, it's even nice when the client has maybe like walked away from the taxi rank, right?
Yeah.
And then was able to board into their Bolt for maybe a further distance. But now the problem is when those taxi drivers like get in that taxi and follow that car.
Yeah.
So it's like you are forced to take the taxi, which is not right. That is not right. But also they must get, you know, take into consideration that all these Bolt drivers that operate in our country are permitted to pick and deliver customers, right? So they should not have any issues with those. But now the problem is when you are just a motorist driving by, because now there's an issue whereby I think Mr. Spanioni touched on it, that there's a spot whereby hitchhikers stand there. And then if you want to pick a hitchhiker, you can go there. And you know that you're going to find a hitchhiker there and you can pick them up for some benefit. Now, that's where the issue is. But even though it is an issue, people should approach it in a manner that is civil. Because now with such cases, you find that people are being gunned down. Because I remember there was a incident that happened in Cape Town during the taxi strike. So like taxis went on strike, and there were no taxis operating. So people were left stranded after work and they had to go back home, but there were no taxis to take, right? So you have a good Samaritan thinking, you know what, I'm going in that direction. So I might as well take you and I'll drop you off at your nearest rank or maybe your nearest places. And then they spotted him. And then they started smashing his car with bricks, and then they dragged him off the car and they shot him down. Just for taking passengers. And then themselves were not even operating on that day. So what were they expecting for the passengers to do? To like be stranded there just because they're striking. So it's a tricky situation, Mr. Mo. You know, people die due to such things. But also we must not take advantage of the situation. You know, if you're a motorist and you know that you cannot be hitchhiking, you cannot be I mean, you can transport your family members. But then Mr. Spanioni went on to say, if you can prove that it is your family member or you and your girlfriend agreed to meet at that particular place, then you can do it. Because I think I also came across another post whereby someone was saying that he picked up his girlfriend. And then they're like, oh, is she your girlfriend? Kiss her. You know, so they're also trying to protect themselves, trying to protect their business. It's just that their approach on the matter is just, you know, outrageous. Like you cannot be violent with such, because we sit down and we talk as people. Even if you are right, fine. Thing is, they don't want you to be right. They don't want you to get away with it. If they want you to take a taxi, you must take a taxi. It doesn't matter if you are right or not. So it's scary, and it's also, you know, it's not fair for people who are at the backlash of this, who are getting a backlash on this matter. So I think we should also take wait for the MECs to come in, and also they should find a resolve, and we should not take this into our own matters, because now you're gonna go up there and say, no, we have rights. They cannot tell us what to do, as the police general said. But in this case, it's not a matter of what's right or wrong. But you know, we sometimes we have these guys operating mafia style. And if you wanna stand up against that, you could lose your life. You know. So we must be careful when it comes to such things, and take it, you know, and be precautious. on our approach.
The underlying discussion right here is that the modern days of transportation are being challenged, and what is your take about that? Because right now we are seeing that the transportation ways, and network is literally changing, but we are having people who are challenging it, based on what is happening on our roads. But that we are going to leave it to the Department of Transport to look at everything and how they can solve, these situations like this one. So we would really like to hear from you right there, whoever who is watching right now. Please do make sure that you comment down below. We are share online on each and every social media platform, and if you want to call us in and send your voice note or a text message, the number to call is 061-524-7758. 061-524-7758. We are looking forward to hear from you, because this is a very, very serious issue in our country, regarding transport. People want to be as free as they can. They want to, the main aim of modern transport is to have transport accessible anywhere where you are. But the conversation does not only end here. Do make sure that you follow up on the conversations that we are going to be having next week, and you can also leave down your comment on this conversation right now. As we wrap up, Mr. E2, please, what is your main underlying issue when it comes, because that we're discussing food safety.
Yes.
What do you think should be done, and something that you should be discussing on our way forward?
On the matter of food safety and these shops that are not permitted to operate, I think it was going to be a matter of close the ones that are not permitted. But at this rate we are going, we have no choice but to actually call out for the closing of all the foreign shops until we have resolved this matter that we're dealing with right now. Because if we're going to be dragging our feet or trying to be lenient on this, people are busy losing their lives out there, and if you do not take a stand, it could be your loved one next. So let's all come together and do the right thing as South Africans, and then ensure that we all live to see another day.
Okay, thank you so much. I have a comment from Jabu Mohari saying, slowly taxi industry are failing. That's why people are hiking. They can't meet their demands. Family members are allowed to travel together. They are being unfair as usual. So please, thank you so much for that. The conversation does not only end here. Please keep your comments coming in even when we stop the live, because time is not on our side. We have to conclude right now and leave you guys discussing, and coming up with ways of what to do. But thank you so much, Mr. E2, for being with me here.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Mo.
Indeed. My name is Moketi Maimane, and this was E2 Meleng Diale right here on Mzansi Affairs. Please do make sure to catch us same time, same place, next week Tuesday right here on Share Radio, brought to you by Share Online. You're watching Mzansi Affairs, so do make sure that you follow us on our social media platforms. We are Share Online on each and every social media platform. Stay kind and see you next week.
You want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news, and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood Thursdays at 11 a.m. talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmane, the broskies of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time. Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m. where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Kasi Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music, and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young, and free with Ama 2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m. where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.